Hey everybody, I forgot to turn off Miriam's thing. She's not going to be here today. She has a medical thing that she's getting some stuff done. Anyway, routine stuff. I'm Chris. I'm one of the co-founders, president, and the technical guy behind Keto Chow. If you're brand new to Keto Chow, it's a nutritionally complete meal designed to make doing keto extremely easy. We also have some electrolyte supplements that are amazing for everyday use and for keeping the dreaded keto flu away. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the little bell icon. You'll get updates every time we go live. These live streams help us be accountable and stay on track. So thanks so much for joining us on our keto journey. So let's see, we got a couple people in the chat already. Looks like Purple Love and Nana is here, so is Brenda. Carrie's here, and Dennis. Let's see, Jamie wanted to know, by the way, hi Jamie, what does Miriam use before bed to help sleep? Debbie answered that, but it's the Keto Chow Keto Chow Magnesium drops or the magnesium capsules, which the capsules are nice because it's actually the same stuff, but it's dried, put into little capsules, and then you don't have to taste the magnesium because the magnesium is extremely bitter. That's just what magnesium tastes like. So anyway, let's see, Tracy says, I'm going to listen in while working this morning. Awesome. Storm Chasing Gal is here from Hot Jinx. Hot Jinx, Hot Jinx. Let's see, Jujubee is here as well. So is Lynette. Rita says, hello all. Gina says, good morning everyone. How y'all doing this marvelous Monday? I'm doing pretty good. Doing quite well. Actually, almost all of our kids were sick-ish this last weekend. That's no fun. And we got a whole bunch of employees that are out sick as well. I'm doing quite well. I was sick 2 weeks ago and have been steadily getting better, but I've still been in a really weird, long cleanup phase. Like, lots of mucus. Anyway, Storm Chasing Gal says, hey Chris, thanks for the chocolate mint bag. You're welcome. Valerie says, hi everyone. Barbara's here from Pine Island, Florida. Mary says, how you been, Chris? Hope all is well. And I had a good weekend. Miriam and I went to dinner with one of her friends, childhood friends. That was a lot of fun. Afterwards, Miriam's like, we should do something now. And I'm like, why don't we just go back to our house and sit around and talk? Because frankly, that's what we want to do. And that's what we did. It was pretty good. Mama Bear Lynette is here also. True Health says hello, everyone. Donna Kimball says Monday, Monday. Ba, 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 ba. Alyssa says good morning. Let's see, Lindsay is here. Homeschool lunch break, so I'm popping in. Nice, welcome, Lindsay. Say hi to Jared for me. Anyway, by the way, Lindsay, still haven't seen your review of the pumpkin sausage soup. I'm getting kind of worried that you're not going to like it. And Jujubee says, am I patient zero? No, I think my son Max was patient zero. I didn't come into work while I was sick at all, which is good. But we had a couple of people who were out sick, and one of our ladies who does a lot of copywriting, if anybody in the office is sick, she works from home, which is frankly just fantastic. So, yeah, it wasn't me. Emily Laugh a Lot says, I got my first secret subscription. Can't wait to get all the recipes. Nice. True Health made 2KK egg pudding with banana keto chow. So good. Amy Snyder's here. Hi, Amy. Let's see. Susan B is here. Welcome. Let's see. Lynette says, yesterday morning I made 3 flavors of keto chow pancakes using Rachel's recipe, pecan sticky bun, raspberry cheesecake, and birthday cake. All 3 were so delightful. I usually make up some keto chow on Sundays to kind of last through the week, but there were still 8 of them. Actually, I brought some with me to work, and I think I took them out of my backpack. Anyway, but there were, sorry, I got squirreled there pretty hard. But there were still 8 of them in the fridge from the previous Sunday, and if you make them with butter, they usually last like somewhere between 7 to 9 days, so they're going to be fine. But instead, all of the creamies were gone, And so I made some Ninja Creamies yesterday. I made maple waffle. I was able to root around and I found 4 butterscotch. I think it's the last of the butterscotch that we have. And then I also found 4 black licorice that I made in the Ninja Creamies. I actually don't like the black licorice as a Ninja Creamy. I think the flavor is a little bit too strong, which is weird because it's less strong in a Ninja Creamy. But anyway, Miriam really likes them as a Ninja Creamy. I like the black licorice, which is unfortunately not available and not coming back. It was a limited time edition thing. But anyway, so I made up, 3 batches of 4 for the Ninja Creamy. And so those are in the freezer thinking about what they've done. Who knows, maybe Miriam will have one of those when she's done with her routine medical tests stuff. Let's see, Joanna's here from Arizona. And Bob's here from Arizona as well. Yeah, and Utah and Arizona are at the same time. Daylight saving. Let's just stop the insanity. I don't care which way we go. It just needs to stop. It's just stupid at this point. Almost everybody agrees that we need to stop. Whether it's we stay on permanent normal time, standard time, or permanent daylight saving time, I don't care either way. Anyway, I'm going to get off my high horse. GGB says, send them to me. I love them as a creamy. There you go. Debbie needs to make up some Keto Chow and creamies today. Alyssa says, I finally got a creamy. I'm living on Keto Chow ice cream right now. That's a good way to do it. Carrie says I should mix butterscotch and black licorice. Nah, the flavor of the black licorice would overpower the butterscotch, and I don't know that it'd be very good. Now, we do have some Torani butterscotch syrup, sugar-free syrup, that I actually really like in apple pie Keto Chow ice cream. It's extremely good. I might have used up an entire bottle of that over the last 2 weeks. So anyway, Teresa is here, and this is I made brown butter bites for the first time. Took me long enough, but what was I thinking waiting so long? These things are delicious. Nice. And Lindsay says, the suspense is killing you. Yes, it is. Well, it was kind of funny. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about with the pumpkin sausage soup, we have a recipe on our website for a soup that it's a spicy pumpkin sausage and pepper soup. And you also use pumpkin spice caramel Keto Chow in it, which gives it a sweet edge to it, which is really good. And you can use it without the peppers or with not hot peppers. And I really like it. We have made that recipe more than any of the other recipes that call for Keto Chow on the Keto Chow website. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with that, if you go here under kitchen and you go to recipes, and by the way, this is working again. Thank you very much. So if I search for A-U-S-A-G-E, there just go sausage. Here's the pumpkin sausage soup. It's really good. Now, is it as good as I've made it out to be? Maybe, maybe not. Neely said that she didn't hear see unicorns and it was angels singing when she had it. She's like, it's good, but it's not as good as they've made it out to be. I can understand that. Maybe I've overhyped it a little bit. Oddly enough, we had Dr. Barry and Nisha, who came to our October meetup, and we had made the pumpkin sausage soup. The entire batch went bad except for a little bit that didn't fit, and so it was saved in the refrigerator. And so Dr. Barry and Nisha actually got to try it. Subsequently, one of Nisha's very first videos, I think she said 3 or 4 months, was her making the sausage soup and having Dr. Barry try it. And they actually both really liked it. He's like, yeah, you can make that again. So I'm curious to see. What Lindsay thinks of it. Anyway, Emily Lasselet says, talk to Congress about daylight saving. It's actually, I'm not gonna allow myself to go on a rant about daylight saving. Dennis says I still have some red licorice. I have some as well. We have really a lot of the black licorice because I really like that one also. Susan says I mix chai tea latte and gingerbread. It tones down the chai tea. And by the way, it's not chai tea latte. It's just chai latte. Someone was going on a warpath about how chai just means tea, and you wouldn't say tea or coffee. What show was that where they were going on and on about? My kids were watching it recently. Anyway. Alyssa says, my son thought he was getting away with staying up late the last 2 weeks. He needs a slow adjustment to time zone change. So this worked. There you go. Let's see. Lynette's talking to, someone else. Nancy says, I just made a batch of mint chocolate fudge yesterday. It turned out wonderful. Nice. Kathy's patiently waiting for more birthday cake. Unfortunately, I don't have any information about if we are ever going to be bringing back birthday cake. It was meant to be a limited edition, just like all of the flavors when we first try them out. Once we have sold out of a particular flavor that was meant to be a limited edition, then we take a long look at it and go, okay, how much demand was there for that? Okay. And one thing that we're kind of wondering about is the birthday cake came out not long before the vanilla cream came out, and we're not sure if either of those sold really well because there was a pent-up demand for a better vanilla flavor, or if it was legitimately, no, I really like specifically birthday cake or specifically vanilla cream, and so it's kind of a toss-up. So I have no news for you on actually either of those flavors, but we do have the vanilla cream as the core, which is the one that is dairy-free and uses either no sweetener or it uses stevia. Karen says, where can I get recipes for pancakes? So there's a couple different places. Joe and Rachel have a recipe for pancake bites that Rachel put up as a short on the Two Crazy Ketos YouTube channel. Also, if you just go on the Keto Chow website, you go to recipes and you search for pancakes. I think, now I've got to do it. Here we go. So here we are, search and filter. Pancake. We've got this one, that one, mini waffles, banana muffins that you can also use. By far, this top one is the best. This one right here is one that I made and have a terrible photo. But yeah, I actually prefer the chaffles over pancakes just because they work really better in the waffle maker that we have. And the recipe for chaffles is super easy. It's 3 eggs, a cup of mozzarella cheese, and a serving of Keto Chow. Any flavor you want. You just mix those all together and it's like a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half into one of the Dash mini waffle makers. Works like a charm. Lynette says, I'm so glad you said they last 7 to 9 days. I've made it with butter. I'm less than 2 weeks away from major surgery and will be in the hospital for 3 to 4 days. I'll make several and have them ready when I return home. And interestingly enough, that's about how long Keto Chow lasts if you don't mix it up with any fat at all, because bacteria will still live on the protein just fine. The changing thing is that heavy cream, it usually says on the box, use within 1 week of opening. So there's the best by date on the top, but that's if it's unopened. Once it's opened, then bacteria can get in there and it can start to do its thing. And anyway, heavy cream tends to cut the lifespan of Keto Chow down just a little bit. What some people do, I know Dennis is probably putting right now that he mixes up his Keto Chow without any fat and then adds it just before consuming if he's using heavy cream, which totally works. Also, if we have Keto Chow that is getting close to that, it's time to use it update. Or like we're going on a trip or something like that, we'll totally just pour them into Ninja Creamy containers. And then they last months. Like, they really never go bad once they're in the freezer. In fact, I've never pulled a Ninja Creamy container out of the freezer and it wasn't fine. So let's see. Alyssa says I'm going to try that recipe, but it calls for tomatoes and I can't eat those. So I need to figure out a way around that. Sometimes basil works. I don't know. Yeah, I think it would work just fine without tomatoes. Visual Keto says, I'm saving my couple of black licorice to experiment with anise flavor Christmas cookie recipes. Oh, there you go. True Health says, I'm looking forward to having a Keto Chow Maple Waffle Ninja Creamy tonight. It's our favorite flavor. That actually might be what I have for dinner tonight. That sounds really good. Nancy says, yeah, the fudge was good. Never tried it before, but I'm glad I did. Mike says, I have the ingredients to make it. I bought one spicy and one regular sausage. I think I will like it. Teresa says, I did not realize there were so many peppers in the soup. It's interesting. In theory, you could actually leave all those out. Like, you could entirely leave them out. But, I don't know, adding the peppers in there. And you could even just use green peppers if you wanted to. And poblano peppers, which are also known as pasilla peppers, depending on the grocery store you're going to, those, my mom would say they're spicy, but I don't know anyone else who would say that they are. Anyway, so you could just use more of those instead. Barbara says, I'd love some black licorice to swirl with orange cream to yield tiger tail. Yep. Mike says, when I print the soup recipe, it makes me sad that Oh Hello Bakery is no longer around. Me too. Which reminds me, I need to make some of the recipes in their cookbook that I bought. There you go. Jared's here. Hi, Jared. As with many of the soups, I enjoyed it more the second day. I'll let Lindsay share her own experience. Anticipation. Or, well, when I asked Neely what she thought earlier, she's like and subscribe for updates. She's like, I'm not going to tell you. I thought that was hilarious. Storm Chasing Gal says, I'm very impressed with powdered heavy whipping cream. Ordered a second bag. Now, that brings up something, and I'm sorry if you've heard this before, but every time powdered heavy whipping cream is brought up, Keto Chow powdered cream. And there are some people who don't know about heavy cream, and when they or heavy cream powder. Rounding. That's not the one I want. That's the one that I want. So for people who don't know that heavy cream powder is a thing, or that butter powder is a thing, they hear it and they're like, wow, okay, this is really cool. But I have to always caution people, and it's simply because what is put on the packaging for heavy cream powder is not actually what is in the heavy cream powder as far as the nutrition information. Because all of them show 0 grams of carbs per serving, when in fact, it has a lot more. So we've got sweet cream powder. If you look at heavy cream powder, and again, it may be that you're using heavy cream powder and it works really well for you. And I don't want to dissuade you from that. I just want people to be making decisions from a standpoint of information. So if they think the heavy cream powder, which is actually sweet cream powder, if you look on the ingredients, if they think it's 0 carb, I want them to understand that it's not. You can continue to use it. There are lots of places, especially if you're using it for camping or something like that, where it's absolutely fantastic. But for instance, sweet cream powder, in 100 grams of it, there's 12.8 grams of carbs compared to 2.84 grams in heavy cream. Now that's not really a good apples to apples comparison. What's better is carbs per 1,500 calories. Because there's water in heavy cream, which you don't have in the sweet cream powder. So for 1,500 calories, sweet cream powder has 25.7. Whereas actual heavy cream, which all heavy cream sold in the United States, has the same carb content. Period. It doesn't matter what it says on your container. It has the same carb content. It's legally mandated. Anyway, there's 12.5 grams of carbs in 1,500 calories of heavy cream. When you get to, there's butter powder as well. That has 16. And then regular butter, just plain old butter, has 0.12. It's a rounding error. So again, I just want people to be making decisions from a position of information. So yeah, Storm Chasing Gal, powdered heavy cream, great. Just make sure you know what you're getting into and that it has twice as much carbs as heavy cream and several thousand times more carbs than butter. But if it was working for you, great. Karen has a good question, so let me get off on another soapbox. It says, new here, what's the most sold flavor? The way I always find this is I search for Keto Chow leaderboard. And it comes to here, and then let's see. That's the most popular. There it is. And then here they are all in order. So as of June 2023, the most popular flavor, and we have this kind of a graph. We also have them as a bar graph or just as a table. So if you're using a screen reader or whatever, hey, chocolate is by far #1 flavor. Chocolate peanut butter is #2, then chocolate toffee, salted caramel, so on and so forth. We have a lot of flavors, so it gets split up between them. And you get down to the bottom ones, and yeah, there's the 4 savory flavors. Eggnog, root beer float, natural strawberry, a lot of the fall flavors or the seasonal flavors. That's why they're seasonal flavors, is because they're not in the top ones. And this is adjusted for how much they sell during the time of the year that they're available for the seasonal flavors. But yeah, chocolate's fantastic, especially if you heat it up and have it as hot chocolate. That's actually what I had for breakfast, lunch, first meal. How about that? On Sunday, is I heated up some hot chocolate. It's great. Catherine says vanilla cream makes best creamies. Crystal says, I love the soup. I use breakfast sausage, ground beef, and bacon, but no jalapenos. Okay. I haven't tried it with the Keto Chow packet yet, but I'm sure it's great too. And Linda wants butterscotch as a permanent item. Alyssa wants birthday cake for her birthday. I don't care if it tastes like vanilla. I actually haven't tried vanilla cream. It seems like a less exciting flavor compared to all the other choices. Valerie says, I really love both vanilla cream and birthday cake. The core vanilla creams do not taste like the regular. I would buy lots of both. Teresa wants to try birthday cake. Never got a chance. Mike says, the more I try vanilla cream, the more it tastes like birthday cake from memory. I have not done a side-by-side comparison, but I really love birthday cake. So if only one came back, do that one. Len says, because of my son's HS diagnosis, he cannot have very much cheese because it causes a flare-up of boils. Wow. So the pancake recipe is better for him because it doesn't use cheese like a chaffle. Nice. Okay. Heather says, I can't wait to complete my beef, butter, bacon, and eggs challenge so I can start experimenting with all the yummy-sounding recipes. Nice. Yeah, and Karen, that's what B, 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 and E means. Visual Keto says, the pumpkin soup is the one thing that seems to sway all the non-keto people. They love our special soup. I made it for a neighborhood Halloween party, and I put a sign that said, spicy pumpkin sausage pepper soup. Mostly because I didn't want people taking it and then not eating it. I wanted all of the leftovers to come home with me because it's sad when it doesn't get eaten. Like, I don't care if you take it. Just make sure you eat it. It's the dad in me. Anyway, and a lot of people were like, yeah, that's really good. I'm like, oh yeah, and it's low carb. And they're like, oh, okay. They had no idea. Brenda's here from... let's see, Joanna is here as well. Oh, Susan says, apologies for using Starbucks terminology. No, you're fine. Sandra says, as a type 1 diabetic, thank you, Chris, for sharing this information. I was thinking about buying the powdered heavy whipping cream, but I won't know it's not a healthy product for me. Yeah. Well, again, hey, there are a lot of people that use the heavy cream to great effect, and it works very well for them. I just want to make sure people understand that 0 carbs on a label does not mean 0 carbs in the amount that you would actually use it. Because like a serving size for heavy cream is 1 tablespoon. Who uses 1 tablespoon? Come on. And so it adds up. Joe, who is here, says, what's up, family? He usually rounds up. If he sees that something has 0 carb, he either assumes that it has half a carb, which it probably does, or just rounds up to 1 to be sure. Let's see. Storm Chasing Gal says, I'll stick with 1 spoon in my smoothie with heavy. There you go. There you go. Carrie wants to know about half and half. I don't see it all the time. So the short version of half and half is cream and milk. And milk is almost entirely sugar with a little bit of protein. So, and a lot of people are like, hey, I use half and half because it has fewer calories than heavy cream. Well, here's the thing. It's not that half and half has fewer calories. It's that to get the same amount of calories with half and half as you can get with heavy cream, you have to use 5 or 6 times the amount of half and half. Just use a little bit of heavy cream instead of half and half. And you could achieve the same thing. And when you use half and half, it will have 5 or 6 times the amount of carbohydrates. There's a lot of sugar in half and half. So you could use half and half if it's the only thing that you had. Just be aware that it has a lot of sugar in it. And you have to use 5 or 6 times the amount of half and half as you would heavy cream to get the same result. Bonnie says, are the seasonal flavors close to running out? As far as I know, they are not. Now, I actually, let's go here. I actually made sure that the seasonal flavors had a availability graph on them. So this is the pumpkin spice. Looks like it's about a third left. Eggnog, close to half or 2/5. Oh, gingerbread is more than half. Pecan sticky bun, about half, and maple waffle is down to about a third. So there you go. Let's see. Lisa said, hey, Lisa. Keto Chow rocks. Long time no see. Mike says, if you lumped every chocolate flavor together, it's probably a third of the total sales. Probably. Between chocolate and chocolate peanut butter, it's maybe a fifth. It's close to I think it's close to 20%. Sandra says, if your flavors could go away except for pecan sticky bun, I would be a happy customer. Okay, just wants pecan sticky buns. Sherry wants to know, how are the soups? The soups are interesting. I usually use them as a base and add stuff to them, especially salt. Frankly, I'd like it if there was more salt in them anyway, but people are funny about salt. And it's easy to add salt to taste. Taking it away isn't as hard. I actually like to mix up the soups and have them as a soup. Just kind of like a warm tomato soup, and I just drink them actually out of the blender bottle. But other people don't like them that way. They like to use them in cooking, and they're extremely effective for that. But they're kind of weird, and they actually don't sell very well. I'm keeping them around mostly because it's the principle of the matter, but because they don't sell so well, the amount that we're ordering them in means that the cost versus the price is really close. And so they, from a business standpoint, I should really get rid of the soups. But they're so useful. Like the savory chicken soup alone. Here, I'll just pull it up. Yep. You go to kitchen, you go to recipes, come down here to search and filter, and you can change it by flavor. Where is this is not ordered by name. Oh, it's ordered by number of recipes. There's 62 recipes that are done with the savory chicken soup. And the biscuits and gravy is freaking amazing. You actually make the biscuits using the savory chicken soup. It's really good. And you can even use pork rinds instead of using the almond flour. They aren't as fluffy. They're kind of squished. But if you're doing carnivore, you could totally use those. It'd be absolutely fantastic. Let's see. Karen says, is raspberry cheesecake a good one to get as a big pouch? Yes, but I would always recommend getting the individual packets first and make sure that you really like it before you get the big one. I love raspberry cheesecake, but everybody has different taste. Some people love one flavor and other people will be like, you're crazy. Now, one other thing between the big bag and the individual ones, there's a scoop in the big bag, and if you pack that correctly, it will be a very close approximation for the actual serving size that's in the packets. But if you just kind of scoop it willy-nilly, you may not have the right amount. And so when you mix up a Keto Chow out of the packets, you're getting the right amount. When you mix it up using the scoop, if you don't get the right amount, it may be off by 10% or more. And it won't be as flavorful is usually what happens. And so people are like, this doesn't taste the same. Why doesn't it taste the same? So the way around that is put a bowl on a scale, zero it out, do a scoop, weigh it, and see how close it is to the serving size, which will be right there. That'll tell you how much the serving size is supposed to be. And see if your version of packing the scoop gets you close. And if it gets close and it's not a big deal for you, you can probably just do the scoop. But if you like weigh it and you're like, whoa, that is not even close, then maybe change around the way that you pack it. Pack it up, pack it in, let me begin. Anyway, I love the raspberry cheesecake, especially as ice cream. And since you're just getting started, by the way, if you have an ice cream maker, you can mix up Keto Chow, toss it into the ice cream maker, and it will make ice cream. And it's fantastic. There are ice cream makers that work a little bit better than others, but the best ice cream maker is the one that you currently have. Second best one is a Ninja Creamy if you can find them. Anyway. Teresa says, yeah, warm chocolate with Choc Zero marshmallows. There you go. Karen says, being new to Keto Chow, how's Keto Chow different than other keto shakes, please? Very good question. The short version is most keto shakes are just protein. It's just it's a snack where it's designed to supplement your protein. And maybe it has a little MCT oil or something like that, but it's not designed to be an actual meal. Like if you were to take one of those other shakes, drink it, you would probably be hungry in a couple of hours. The idea with Keto Chow is you can make this for breakfast and it will completely satisfy you. You could have it for lunch and it would completely satisfy you. If you had dental surgery and you were not going to be able to chew for 2 months, you could, and I've done it before, have only Keto Chow for 3 meals a day for months at a time, and you would not end up with any nutritional deficiencies. You might miss chewing, but you can use it that way. Now, we don't recommend that people use it that way. It's designed so that you can, but I would actually prefer that you use Keto Chow for the meals that are difficult for you to find time to prepare. Like you have to run to work or something like that, or you're late for a meeting, or you just take 2 of them with you to work and I can't remember if it's in my backpack or not. Literally, I think they're in my backpack, but they might be in the fridge, regardless. So then you can take them to work. Hey, breakfast and lunch is taken care of. Don't worry about those. And then when you get home and you make something amazing for dinner, or you just have another Keto Chow. You can't do that with other shakes. They're not designed to be an actual meal, and that's the big difference. It's all the vitamins and minerals. So on the package of Keto Chow, like all of this stuff down here is a third of all of your nutrients that you're going to need in the day. So, let's see. I'm a girl, says, after I mix my Keto Chow, can I leave it outside or do I have to refrigerate it if I don't drink it? Once Keto Chow is mixed, you need to treat it like milk. So if you would leave milk sitting somewhere for like an hour, it's probably not that big of a deal. I will sometimes, if I'm like out camping, I'll mix up Keto Chow and it'll just be sitting there on a picnic table for like 30 minutes while I'm doing something else, and then I'll drink it and immediately wash the bottle. It's not a big deal. But you wouldn't want to leave milk sitting on the counter for a long time. You would want to put it into refrigeration. By the way, don't mix up Keto Chow and put it while warm into an insulated flask and then stick that in the fridge, because it won't get cold. The insulated flask will prevent it from cooling down quick enough to stop the growth of bacteria in the protein, and you will be very sad. Instead, you mix it up in something, let it chill overnight, and then pour it into an insulated flask, which is what my son did just before he left for school this morning at 5:30. Anyway, Carrie says, half and half has lots more carbs. Didn't realize that. Yes, it does. Mike says, so think of it as half cream, half lactose. Pretty close. Lynette says, when you started this business, did you ever dream it would get as big as... No. No, I didn't. What do you think for the next 5 years looks like for your company? We have some interesting stuff coming up in the next week or two. I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, interesting stuff. So as far as next 5 years, I don't know. We're going to see how this new stuff turns out. But we're pretty excited. Yeah, and great. Miriam's here just in time to see me almost spilling the beans. Let's see. Josephine's Design says, I made the blueberry pie stuffed waffles the other night for supper. My husband literally asked the Lord to bless the owners of Keto Chow for such a blessing. That's fantastic. Yeah, and Heather says, every time I see those screens, it makes me order more. Lindsay says, hey, that's a nice way to get people to order more. I'm like, well, it has that unintended effect, but that's not why they're there. It's so that they're there, and they're there so that people can see as they're getting lower. LCVB says, why did you stop the Very Vanilla, which had a 5-star rating? We didn't have one called Very Vanilla. So you might be confusing it with someone else. We had a limited edition vanilla cream and a limited edition birthday cake that we had them until they sold out, and then we get to sit and think about whether they're going to come back. But never one called Very Vanilla. Jasmine loves the soup. And Leslie says, I just bought a big bag of the savory chicken soup because I use it several times every week to create a sauce for my son's skillet casseroles. There you go. Natalie says, please don't get rid of the savory chicken soup. And Josephine says, yeah, we love the soups. Thank you so much for all of them. Mike says, limited edition equals, it might come back, but they're not ready to tell us yet. I'm afraid of commitment, let's be honest. No, it's that, yeah, there's so many things that are outside of our control as far as timelines, and when we do make a decision, if something's coming back, it could take a month, it could take 9 months. Like, there's so much that we can't control. So we don't tell people about stuff coming until it's ready to order. When we make an announcement about stuff, you can get it right then. None of this, no pre-orders, no waiting. You can get it the day that we announce it. So, Lisa says, I use the taco and savory chicken soup all the time. Awesome. Alyssa says, I just made biscuits last night with this chicken soup one. They were very yummy. I'm very impressed. Have to order more. Brenda says, I love raspberry cheesecake also, but I love them all. Shari says, we're hooked on this. Lost 110 pounds since February. I wish I could show you the difference. We only do shakes on the weekdays And food on the weekends, great for busy work days. Okay, if that's working for you, that's fantastic. Visual Keto says I usually make 3 at a time, so I just weigh every time times 3, and it's perfect. Helps when you're also mixing flavors for customization. Yes, and that actually brings up another fun thing. If you go to our website and go to Kitchen and go to Flavor Hacks, there's a bunch of different combinations of ones that you can mix together. One of our favorite ones, and it was like the first one that we ever released was Buttery Fingers, which is chocolate peanut butter and chocolate toffee mixed together. Fantastic. And so if you are weighing them, then combining 2 of them together and then splitting them up works extremely well. Carrie says my ice cream maker makes it kind of like a soft serve. Yeah, but it's still good. Then Bluegrass Girl vanilla glycerate, since there's no alcohol in it. Yes, if you want it to be a softer, yeah. Mike says some crazy people have had nothing but Keto Chow for 100 days, right? What kind of a crazy person would do that? I was doing it for science, though. Modest Keto Couple says Keto Chow really is the only shake that fills me. Nice. Karen says if you have to pre-make them in the fridge, refrigerate them for a few hours. So you don't have to. There's no nutritional thing that means you must refrigerate them and then let them sit and all that, but it tastes better. If you make them and let them sit at least 30 minutes, the flavor is really improved. If you make up a couple of them and put them in the fridge and then grab them out over the next few days, they last 6 days at a minimum in the fridge, depending on the fat that you're using. So making up a bunch really is a time saver. And they continue to taste better and better and better until like 6 days. So, and my understanding is people like stuff that tastes good better. So that's what we recommend, is that you'll, at least 30 minutes overnight is better. Mike says, I like interesting stuff. Teresa says, wow, exciting. Lots of people say interesting stuff. Yeah, Miriam is in the house. Crystal Harris says, daily minerals and capsules. It's worth an ask. And Judy says, yeah, we don't talk about Bruno. Cynthia says, I'm here for the gossip and all of the teal. Yeah. Lindsay says, did I just hear that we have the possibility of buying stocks because Keto Chow is going public, perhaps? Actually, no. Currently, I'm the only owner of Keto Chow, and I don't have any intention of having any other partners. In fact, Miriam doesn't even own stock in Keto Chow. Technically, our trust owns Keto Chow through me. Anyway, every time I think about even the possibility of having like investors or something like that, it makes me very tired because of all the additional accounting headache that would come with that. And so far, we haven't had to do that because we've kept the company profitable always. We've never done anything unless we were able to pay for it ahead of time, which meant it took a long time. We started Keto Chow, well, I guess I started Keto Chow back in 2015 and slowly built it up using the sales from previous product to buy more stuff. We eventually got it out of our house and into a warehouse, got co-packers, and it's been an interesting journey. We could have done it a lot faster by taking outside investment. But as it stands, I'm only beholden to, well, Miriam, let's be honest, I'm beholden to Miriam. But we don't have any investors that we have to worry about. We don't have any stock out there. It's not like that. Yeah, and that kind of goes back to, where is it? Nope. I don't have a button for it anymore. Let's see, where is that? There's our mission statement. We were founded to simplify health with the ultimate game of enabling people to succeed with their goals and live the lifestyle they want to live. We're open, honest, and fun the way we wish all companies were. And we want to provide a products easy to use, delicious, and nutritious, a community that educates, inspires, and connects people to each other and themselves, and a company that supports, listens to, and values their customers and employees. So I read essentialism, and we're like, well, we should really come up with a mission statement, a statement of central intent, if you were. And that really drives us. And not having outside investors allows us to do what we feel like works best, which is kind of interesting because your microphone is over there next to my phone. We don't have anybody else to answer to. So it's really nice in that. And yeah, I have to answer to. What did you do?
I slammed your chair into your desk.
That happens all the time. Don't worry about it.
I know.
You can probably just leave it without the thing.
Hello.
Anyway, just clip it to your shirt. Miriam's here. Anyway.
I have crazy hair.
Moscow couple says, we were skeptical at first, but Keto Chow is truly amazing. Suzanne says, do we get a surprise live stream to look forward to? Probably. Sure, why not?
Maybe.
Teresa says, I need to make blueberry pie stuff. I didn't spill the beans. I just heavily alluded to something fun coming. Crystal says, we're so spoiled. Love Keto Chow. Mike says, yes, no GoFundMe to bring back out favorite discontinued flavors. There's no need for that. And frankly, I rankle at companies that don't need to use things like Kickstarter, using Kickstarter to
because
fund
you
stuff.
don't need to, yeah.
Now I see pre-orders as a way of gauging interest, and that could be a way to decide, okay, do you guys really want it? Because we could do pre-orders and blah, blah, blah. We're not going to do that. I'm just using that as a hypothetical. But yeah, I don't like companies that use things like that. I'd rather that I was left alone for people that really need it. Like Shark Tank. We're never going to go on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Don't need to. Jujubee says, my summer garden tomato sandwich, depend on that soup. Just saying.
Nice.
Donna wants butterscotch as well. Had the ladies over, and hands down, that was their favorite. And wanted to order large bags. Had to give them bad news that it may not come back.
Oh, yeah. You didn't bring butterscotch creamy for yourself that I can steal, did you?
No, I have 2 apple pie Keto Chows that were made with butter. And they might be in my backpack, and it's kind of driving me nuts.
Should we just check?
Sure.
I do not see them, and your backpack is open, so I would guess that they're in the fridge.
Mike says, I moved my monthly sub renewal to Black Friday just in case something interesting happens around then.
That's a good idea.
Karen says, what's your story as to how you started Keto Chow? That's kind of it, like I just described. I started Keto Chow because I needed something that was easy, and I'm an essentialist, which also means I'm lazy, and I just wanted easy. Turns out that there's a demand for that in other people, and it kind of turned into a company.
Essentialist doesn't mean you're lazy.
Yes, it
means
does.
You do things that are important.
Yes, and not the stuff that's not. Let's see. Josephine says, yeah, smart move, keep ownership in the house. Carrie is here, says investors will make you sell your soul.
Right?
And that's just not who you and Miriam are. That is true.
I just met a CPA at the doctor's office.
Certified public accountant.
Yes, who is the CEO of her own company, and she does taxes for venture capitalists.
Oh boy. Okay, that's.
She said, I said, what's your business? She's like, it's this. Oh, that's cool.
I have nothing. It's interesting. It's just, yeah, we have this company as more of a. We're not looking to exit. We're not looking to make a lot of money. This was never designed to be a money-making thing. And the way that we price things kind of terribly, it's also why you'll never see Keto Chow in a retail store. Because the amount that we're able to charge, the price versus the cost, the margins aren't big enough because we'd rather not charge as much.
Yeah, it seems expensive, but
Yeah.
it's actually not that bad.
Anyway, the margins aren't big enough to make it interesting for retail sales. So.
And the retailer always demands that you put things on sale.
Yes.
So.
LC says, yeah, if you go public, you lose control. And JP points out, not true if you own the majority. Still. Then you're beholden to other people.
True.
Everyone's saying hi to you, by the way.
Hi.
When this says, don't go public.
Hi, Heather.
Nancy says, please don't change. We love you the way that you are.
Hi, Nancy.
Except Visual Keto wants us to change the way that we are and wants more butterscotch.
Oh.
I can't bear the thought of when I run out of my carefully rationed portions. Let's see. Yeah, everyone's saying hi to Miriam. Alyssa says exactly. When you have to create profit for the shareholders, yes, maximize shareholder value as part of the mission, then it's inevitable that will affect your decision making. Lindsay says, I'm just spitballing ideas for what may happen. Not having the answer to anyone is the dream.
Yeah, it is.
Alyssa says, better to keep decisions based on your own ethics if possible. Lynette says, just allude to something fun coming, right? And yeah, Lindsay just stirring up trouble. GGB says, as long as they own 51%, it's not possible for anyone to take over. It's simple math. Well, see, there you go. I own 100%, so no one else is taking over.
Not even me.
Mike says,
Even though I tell him what to do.
mission statements that don't use the word synergy feel incomplete.
You can put synergy ahead of it. Synergy. Keto Chow is blah, blah, blah.
I really liked in Essentialism when he was talking about a statement of central intent, a mission statement. How he was like, you can't have a mission statement that basically tells you nothing. It's got to have clearly, like, how do you understand when you've accomplished it? Like, what are your actually goals in it? Carrie really likes apple pie keto chow when warm.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Karen says, did you lose a lot of weight on keto chow? So I have lost a lot of weight, and then I made keto chow because I need it. And so if I don't stick to not snacking specifically, then I tend to gain weight back, even continuing on a ketogenic diet. I recently stopped snacking, thank you very much, and I'm down like 9 pounds.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. Let's see.
Hi, Stephen.
Carrie has a contraption to keep a second laptop from overheating. Paint tray, lifted up, cords tied. Nice. That's
Very
awesome. Nice. Karen says, I'd like to venture and try some. What's the best simple starter to try some? We actually have now I'm sharing. If you go here to our starter kits and bundles.
We have some already pre-packaged for you.
So the essentials, the premium, and the elite. It's kind of if you want small, medium, or large. It's just a mixture of the different flavors to get you started. That's by far the best way.
Yep-o.
Crystal says, I only have my last 3 butterscotch used sparingly. I think I used up the last 4.
That was not nice.
Well, they're made into creamies and they're in the freezer.
But I need to take some.
But you've been stealing them, so it's fine.
I've only been taking the chocolate ones.
GGB says, if you're like my big fat Greek wedding, the man may be the head of the household, but the woman, she's the neck. She can turn that's such a fun movie.
That is such a fun movie. We should watch that.
Brenda says, I blame Butterscotch Keto Chow for not being able to find sugar-free butterscotch morsels. Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Too Crazy Keto says, our favorite flavor is butterscotch. Fortunately, we ordered a bunch before it sold out. I have hidden it from Rachel.
That's smart.
Carrie says, love you, bye. Off to do stop motions.
Oh, thank you.
And Josephine says, yeah, the bundles are a great start.
They are.
Lindsay says, lunchtime is over. Got to get back to directing educational activities. Well, we need to go too because, it's been about an hour. Thanks for everybody for joining us.
Thanks for being not mad that I wasn't here.
Well, and we are going to be doing our Tuesday night live stream tomorrow. So please join us for that. And you all have a fantastic day.
Bye.
Bye.